Hi, welcome back to Yoga with Sarah Ford. I'm Sarah Ford, and today in our beginners series we are going to be going over half pigeon pose. So this is a great way to open up the back of our thigh and our glute area. I love doing this at the end of a yoga practice, and it just gets all the tension out of my legs. So we're going to get right into it. Normally this position can be entered through downward facing dog, so I'm going to start off in that position. And to get into this pose, I'm going to lift my right leg. Using this leg, we're going to bring it forward. And then we're thinking about bringing our right knee to our right arm. And then laying the shin down to the mat, lowering the rest of the body down. And so there's a lot of things to play around with and see what works. The first thing I want to say is that if it feels uncomfortable having the whole body coming down to the mat like this, you can always take a block and sit it under this front hip. So placing it underneath so there's a little bit more support underneath you in this stretch. And then from there, as we're finding our way in this pose, you can keep your back toes tucked or untuck them. It's just your preference. And then our hands stay out in front, supported like this. So we're having a big stretch in the front of our body in this position as well. And then depending on our flexibility in this side hip right here and in our front leg, we can play with the position of it. So for a little bit of a gentler stretch, we can bring our foot closer to that left hip and bring our knee more towards the center of the mat. And then another thing to think about is bringing the knee towards the outside of the mat. That opens up the stretch a little bit deeper on this back thigh. And then after playing with that placement of the knee, you can play with the placement of the foot. So a lot of people's goals is to get this shin parallel with your mat. It's not necessary, you don't really have to do that. It just depends on the placement that's comfortable for you. So it's just feeling the stretch in the back of this thigh and glute area, and maybe in front along the hips, playing with that. And we want to keep this front foot flexed as well to increase the stretch. And so making any adjustments you need, play around, find how it feels for you today. And with our hands in front, this is half pigeon pose, and you can also take it another step further, which is a little bit more relaxing, is lowering down onto the forearms. And you can always place blocks underneath your forearms for a little bit added support as well. And beginning to lay the head down, lay the chest down, and breathing into that stretch. We don't stretch a lot in the back of our thighs, and so this is a great way to open that up and breathe through that. So that is half pigeon pose. Try it out this week. Let me know what you think of it, and if you like it as much as I do. And I'll see you again next week with a new video. Have a nice week.